Halo, selamat pagi. Berjumpa lagi dengan saya, Suryadi, pembelajar seumur hidup. Topik kita hari ini, mari kita lanjutkan pembahasan mengenai otak kita ya. Jadi otak kita ini dibagi dua belahan, ada belahan kiri dan belahan kanan. Pada video kali ini kita akan bahas lebih detail bagaimana cara memanfaatkan kedua belahan ini untuk bersinergis dengan peta konsep, sehingga kita bisa memanfaatkan kemampuan otak kita lebih bagus lagi. Mari kita dengarkan.
It asks, are you right-brained or left-brained? According to these sorts of personality tests, there are two dispositions that make up a person's identity. Those of us with more dominant right sides are said to be the spontaneous, intuitive, creative ones, while those of us with left-sided dominance are labelled as logical and analytical sorts, who love getting stuck into the finer details. But can we be reduced to two archetypes? Is it really a world of artists versus scientists? It's actually quite easy to distinguish a left side and a right side of the human brain just by looking at it. And here's the thing, there is a difference between the two hemispheres. On the whole, the right side of your brain controls the left side of your body and vice versa. The reason for this crisscrossing or decussation of the nervous system is still debated by evolutionary biologists.
It's absolutely true that some brain functions occur in one or the other side of the brain. Language tends to be on the left, attention more on the right.
19th century, and it's likely the origins of the left side versus right side debate originated here, but it was the work of scientists in the late 1960s that really shone a light on how the two sides of the brain differed. Two hemispheres are connected through something called the corpus callosum, a band of neural fibers that lets the two sides communicate with each other. Back in the 1960s though, the corpus callosum was sometimes deliberately severed in people suffering from a severe form of epilepsy, creating what is known as split brain patients. Since the two sides of the brain could no longer interact, it was now possible to observe how the two sides responded to various stimuli. And this is exactly what neuropsychologist Roger Sperry did. His work and that of his colleagues, which won the Nobel Prize in 1981, established details like the right side of the brain handling music and space perceptions. If you're giving out directions or making a map, yep, that's the right side doing its job. The left side of the brain specialized in taking care of analytical and verbal tasks. Speech, for example, was much stronger on the left side, with the right only being able to produce basic words and phrases. However, split brain experiments also showed that the right hemisphere contributed to language by adding emotional context. Meaning that without your right hemisphere, you could read the word dog, but not be able to imagine what one is. What this latter example shows is that the right side and left side of the brain, and the abilities normally associated with each, are not mutually exclusive. Both sides of the brain work together when it comes to language. And this cooperation stretches to other areas too.
This kind of pattern, in which both hemispheres of the brain make critical contributions, holds for most types of cognitive skills. It takes two hemispheres to be logical or to be creative.
Even those labels are problematic. Take maths, or math if you prefer. On the face of it, a logical rather than a creative skill, and a job for your lab coat wearing left brain, rather than your beret wearing boho chic right brain. But that's not how it plays out in reality. The right hemisphere contributes in areas like estimating numbers of objects, while the left hemisphere is great when it comes to counting and recalling multiplication tables, since these rely on memorized verbal information. So that's both sides being logical.
Without a doubt, the popular left and right division of the brain is an oversimplification. For example, research is showing that musical, artistic, and intuitive thinking can't be thought of as strictly lateralized or exclusively of the right hemisphere.
Okay, so we've established that our brains are divided into two hemispheres, which handle specific abilities. But if those hemispheres work together across so-called logical and creative things, is it even possible to be left brain or right brain dominant? In 2013, neuroscientists at the University of Utah published the results of a study that involved scanning the brains of over 1,000 people. The study did uncover patterns and reasons for brain connections to be particularly left or right-sided, but they found no evidence of the brain network being stronger in either hemisphere amongst any of the subjects. In other words, there is no such thing as left or right-sided dominance.
The pop culture idea, creative versus logical traits, has no support in the neuroscience community and flies in the face of decades of research about brain organization, the functional roles of the two brain hemispheres, and evidence from patients with lesions in one or the other hemisphere in the brain.
It seems like the Nobel Prize-winning research on the split brain patients and the differences between the hemispheres was picked up by pop psychologists as an easy way to explain why we act the way we do. Before the internet, the right versus left brain debate was popularized in self-improvement books and therapies that promise to unlock the secrets of your weak hemisphere or capitalize on your strong side. It's not out of the realms of possibility that you've been asked whether you're right or left-brained on a job application.
Nah, ini terlihat otak kita ya. Kita mau bahas dulu kalau yang dominannya bagian kiri, dia akan mengolah kata-kata, angka-angka, garis, list ya, daftar, logika, analisis. Nah, ini otak kiri yang sangat kuat. Nah, sedang yang kanan tuh dominannya dalam masalah irama, warna, bentuk-bentuk, geometri, gambar secara lengkap, ya, gestalt ada sesuatu yang kurang bisa ditambahkan, dan imajinasi. Dan kita bisa juga melakukan daydreaming. Nah, kalau kita bisa lakukan sinergis, ini akan membuat dia bisa menjadi lebih hebat lagi. Peta pikiran adalah representasi visual dari pemikiran seseorang. Ini memanfaatkan seluruh keterampilan kortikal kita seperti kata-kata, gambar, angka, logika, ritme, warna, dan kesadaran spasial. Ini akan membuka potensi otak kita menjadi unlimited. Ya. Demikian Bapak Ibu, hari ini kita cukupkan pembahasan mengenai belahan otak. Jadi kita ada belahan kiri dan belahan kanan. Bagaimana kita bisa memanfaatkan kedua fitur tersebut agar bisa sinergis ya, jadi satu. Jangan lupa like dan subscribe. Nanti kita sambung bagian ketiga, yaitu bagaimana cara membuat peta konsep dan rule-nya ya, aturannya. Sampai jumpa lagi. Bye-bye.